this is going to be another real sticky situation. Here's the thing, we've already seen the first flakes of the season, and that was last week. Check out this drone video. I love it. It was captured by Tim. Tim doing an awesome job at keeping that drone kind of still and steady, and that wind that you can see as those snowflakes blow right on by. This really, I mean, it's a beautiful barn in ways, but you were also mentioning Sleepy Hollow vibes with it too.
You know, I just think the snow, the gloomy skies, the gray skies kind of add to that feeling, right?
It really does. And something tells me that this is going to be a scene that a lot of folks, especially in the Northeast, experience once again, because we could be talking about, by the time we get to Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, depending on the exact track of this next area of low pressure, if it stays a little bit further toward the south, then we'd expect it to be more of a cold weather event that could perhaps bring in some more snow a little further toward the south. But if it stays on its trajectory a little further toward the north, then the rain snow line would be pushed further north, meaning that we'd experience a little bit more rain in places like New York and Pittsburgh. We'll see what happens. We have a couple of days to prepare for it, but all we can say is that things are going to be messy along the eastern seaboard by mid to late week.
Yeah, the timings, Wednesday through Friday. So Wednesday, it's areas over Michigan in through the Tennessee River Valley, portions of the Mississippi Valley, and then it just starts to head east as you head in towards Thanksgiving Day, more of an eastern seaboard setup. But then you go further north and you get more of the snow. Either way, rain slows you down no matter what, right? No matter what. And then you have increased commuters because we have people trying to get to a holiday location. So I think just banking on the weather being messy regardless, as you look at the, these are the ensemble low positions. So based on the Euro, which is going to be in the light red, and then the darker red would be the American model here. When you talk about where they could track, I'd say overall, most of them are clumped together, so it's some consensus, I think, overall. Maybe we're looking at more of a westward shift, but I think this is going to be the favored shift. It's going to bring wind, and it's going to bring quite a bit of just messy weather.
Yeah.
Wet weather.
And not to mention, right here, you see those little extreme lines there. That is kind of an indication that lake effect snow could set up in over 5 of the Great Lakes, and duly noted, West Michigan could get in on a little bit of this. Sometimes you get that Lake Erie, Lake Huron connection band that happens. We call that a mega band is what we would call that when I worked in Cleveland, but also Lake Ontario. So lake effect snow could be an issue. And we're not talking about just like a couple of cute little flakes here and there, a little snowflake lands on your nose and it's all picturesque. This could be one of those where you are out there, shoveling for hours, and then a couple hours later, it's all doesn't look like you did anything.
Well, if the European model verifies, you're bringing out the snow blower because it's a wet, heavy snow that can be so dangerous to actually shovel. But I think, Michael, when you look at it, you do see agreement that we will have winter weather. We will have snow and likely lake effect snow. But these can be very finicky, fussy forecasts because the difference of maybe a few degrees to the south or to the north can make a difference in terms of 10 to 15, 20 miles of who sees the worst. And by worst, I mean heaviest of the snow, the deepest snow.
Yeah. So, and you mentioned a few degrees in terms of latitudinal, but also when it comes to temperatures, a couple of degrees are going to be a big difference with what we see moving forward into the weekend. Because we're basically jumping off a cliff in terms of temps. So it is going to be a very cool go at things.
President-elect Trump's administration taking shape as his cabinet nominees will now have to be approved by the Senate. But Democrat Senator John Fetterman says he plans to be open-minded.
I'm not going to pre-hate this. I'm going to have an open conversation for anyone that I'm open to having part of that conversation. And there's some people that I just couldn't be able to vote for that. And there's some that might be able to enthusiastically vote yes. I don't understand why it's controversial to say, hey, we're going to engage in that conversation.
Liberal late-night host Bill Maher sharing a similar message about the incoming administration.
I'm not going to pre-hate anything. Do I have really good, optimistic feelings about it? No, I don't. But I'm just not going to pre-hate. I can't get into that mind go. Let's see what the disruptors can do, because quite frankly, the experts have just sort of let something go for so long that it's just sclerotic now and constipated.
Tudor Dixon is a former Michigan GOP gubernatorial candidate and the host of the Tudor Dixon podcast and joins us now. Tudor, good morning to you. So this is pretty interesting because here you have two popular Democrats who used to be full-throated liberals. Maybe they still consider themselves to be that way, but they've really moderated their message and their policy positions, and they're encouraging other Democrats to do that same thing. So what do you think? Do you think that what they're trying to do will catch on?
Yeah, I hope it does. Honestly, I think I owe Senator Fetterman an apology because I really believe that he was too sick to run when he did run, and he's come out as the person with the most common sense in the Senate. And I think this is amazing and impressive to see what he's been able to say. And I think it's so interesting because he started really becoming the senator of common sense during the college protests, and now we see him today saying, why is it bad for me to say I'm going to be okay with some of these people? In fact, I'm going to be enthusiastic about some of these people because they're my colleagues and I'm with them every single day. I think when you're outside of Washington, you sort of assume that it's like, two gangs and you've got the one side throwing elephant symbols and the other side throwing donkey symbols, but they're actually working together most of the time. And so it is okay for them to say, I like some of these people. I'm willing to work with them.
You're not the first member on the right to say, I apologize to John Fetterman, because he has shown a different way about him, and I think that is comforting to your point. Axios goes so far, Tudor, as to call Trump's cabinet liberal, but says they are united by MAGA. What do you make of that seeming contradiction?
I think they don't know how to handle what they're seeing, and that is unity. We heard that Biden was the unity candidate, and they're like, what is this strange thing that we're seeing where people are getting along? It's not liberal, it's called unity. It's something we haven't seen in Washington in many years, and it's something that they couldn't possibly have imagined Trump would bring to D.C., but he kept saying it. He said it the first 4 years, and now you're seeing it in action in these next 4 years. I'm so excited to see what this administration is going to do. I think they just are so nervous about what does unity really look like, but Donald Trump is in control.
Yeah, so we have comments from Democrats. John Fetterman, you just heard. Tammy Duckworth is another one who most Democrats seem to be okay with Marco Rubio as the Secretary of State. When it comes to Tammy Duckworth, she also said that she could be a yes on Lori Chavez-DeRemer as Labor Secretary, Doug Collins to run the VA. But when it comes to Pete Hegseth, Tulsi Gabbard, these are the people that she says she might be a no on. So this process starts in January. The Senate is 53-47. What do you think the confirmation process overall is going to look like?
I mean, I think there's going to be a lot of people that have certain folks where they're going to ask some serious questions, and that's why we have these hearings. So she's saying right now she's unsure. She needs to be able to hear what they have to say, and I think that these are two strong candidates for those positions, and when they sit in front of the Senate and they have those hearings, they're going to hear really incredible stories from those people and plans for the future. And I just think that there are the hesitancy that is there now will disappear once they go through that.
Let me flip this on you, Tudor. As a conservative, are you worried about any of Trump's picks?
No, because like I said, I believe that Donald Trump is in control. He knows what he's doing. He is the ultimate say, but he wants to have a strong cabinet around him that can bring multiple viewpoints. I think that is the most mature president that we've seen in many, many years. Someone who says, you know what, I can hear from all sides. I can bring people together and we can do the best, because I don't think that one side is the only answer. I think you have to hear multiple sides of an argument to make good decisions, and that's what he's willing to do.
A liberal cabinet united by MAGA. That is the quote of the day.
By the way, I can't get out of my head the image of people trying to throw up donkey and elephant gang signs. I've been trying to work the elephant, like what is, I can't make the donkey. Good luck.
Okay.
Quite an image.
Tudor, we'll leave it there with you. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch